Welcome to Professor Pincushion. I'm Tova, and today I'm going to show you how to make the corded buttonhole. If you need to add buttonholes to stretchy fabric, the corded buttonhole is ideal. It can be used in other fabrics as well, as the cord provides stability and strength. It's actually quite easy to create this on your home sewing machine. Let's go ahead and get started. The cord part of the buttonhole needs to be something other than all-purpose thread. So I have 3 different options here that you can easily get at your fabric store. I have top stitch thread, button and craft thread, and the pearl cotton thread. Now this one right here is where you can get it in the embroidery section. So it's an embroidery thread. You have to remember that the thicker your cord is, the more raised the buttonhole is going to be on the edges, because the thread, as you're creating the buttonhole, is going to be going over the thread, and this is going to raise it up just a little bit. So if you want something that's subtle, you can go with something like the top stitch thread. Here's one type of buttonhole foot. This is the one that I'm going to be using for my sewing machine, but it tends to be common that all buttonhole foots have this little hook that's in the back. This is the front of my buttonhole foot, and this is the back. So I'm actually going to put my cording onto this hook, and I just cut a piece. It's about 14 inches in length. You probably don't need quite something so long, but if I fold it in half, I can just put it on the hook like this and run it under the foot. If I was to flip this to the back, you're going to see a channel underneath the foot, and that just helps keep the cording separate, and then it's going to go through these little notches in the front. Now when you're doing this, it should already be attached to your sewing machine. I'm just showing you with it not attached, so it's a little bit easier for you to see. So I'm going to hook it onto the back. You don't want to twist them. You're going to bring it to the front, and it should just kind of fit into those grooves. And then you're going to put it in the front, and it should look something like this. Here's another type of buttonhole foot. Now just like the last one, you'll see there's a hook in the back, and if I was to flip this over, you'll see that it also has grooves. So one thread is going to come here, and then one's going to come underneath this part of the foot. So again, you want to do it with it attached to your sewing machine. I have my thread here folded in half. So it's going to go on the hook, and it's going to come forward. So if we lay this flat, so it's going to look something like this. As with doing a regular machine buttonhole, you want to stabilize your fabric that's going to have the buttonhole with some sort of interfacing or stabilizer. So I have this fused onto the wrong side of my fabric. You also want to make your buttonhole marks, and you want to practice the buttonholes with the cording. So I would definitely practice on scraps. And if you're not really comfortable just doing regular machine buttonholes, definitely check out our tutorial on that. Choose a buttonhole stitch on your sewing machine, and this technique works best with the buttonholes that are more of the traditional rectangle with the squared edges on the end. If you're using a thicker cording, you may have to adjust your stitch length to be a little bit bigger. I'm getting ready to sew my corded buttonhole. With this type of foot, I come up through the grooves, and then I kind of bring it over to the side and put my thumb on it, because you want to have some tension on the thread. If it gets too loose, it'll start coming out of your grooves that are on the inside here, and then also on the end. If I'm doing the other foot, then I just kind of lay it flat in front of me, and again, I put my finger over it just to hold it into place. So I've started my buttonhole stitch. And you just need to make sure that your zigzag stitch on the side are actually going over your cording. You're going to do the 2 sides and the end bar tack. Here's my buttonholes so far. So I have one side, the end bar tack, and then the other side. And you can see I haven't done the bar tack on this end yet. Don't take it out of your sewing machine. I just did it so it would be easier for you to see what to do at this point. Leave it in your sewing machine, put the needle down, and just lift the foot. You're going to take this loop part off the back of your foot. So off that hook, you're just being very careful and just lift it off. And then you're going to take the cording on one side, and you're slowly going to pull it so that it goes into the end of the buttonhole. Now obviously you want to use a matching cording that goes with your thread, so it's not going to be as obvious, but I'm just doing a contrasting so you can see. So now it's going into that end and you can't even see it. Then I'm going to take these two ends here and I'm going to cross them, bring it up, and then I can continue and do the last bar tack. Here's my finished buttonhole. I crossed it and did the end bar tack to finish it. And now I can just go ahead and trim my black cording off. You just want to cut really close to that so you're not going to see it. Now let's say you finish the whole thing and then you realized, oh shoot, I didn't cross it at the end before I did the last bar tack. I just finished the whole thing. What you can do is we can tie a knot on the back with the cording. So I've already did this for one side of my cording. You can only see one right now because I've already done one. I just put my cording on a needle. You just got to make sure the eye of the needle is big enough to actually fit your cording. And then I'm going to go through the fabric so I go to the wrong side. So this is all going to come through to the wrong side. So now you're not going to be able to see it on the right side. And if I was to flip this over, it's this one right here. Now I can just, I have the other side and I have this side. Just going to create a loop, bring it through the loop, and then I can tie a knot. Now if this was a matching color, it'd probably look a lot nicer, but it's contrasting, so it's going to stick out a little bit, but at least it would be on the wrong side, and then I can just go ahead and trim off the excess. Here's the right side again with the cording trimmed. It's going to look nicer if the cording matches your thread. Also, it's going to make it look a little bit more filled in on the sides. If you were to fill your buttonhole, the sides are going to feel a little bit raised up, more so than with a regular buttonhole. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to get notified of our weekly releases. Also check out ProfessorPincushion.com to view our complete library with well over 350 sewing tutorials. If you would like to directly support us, you can check out our Patreon campaign and earn some exclusive perks. Thanks for watching.